Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and the sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm ElliJare. Hey, check this out. I'm repping the brand new No Shave Man Cave hat with the Lucha logo. Totally pumped, and gotta thank our crew over at the Cali Hats. We're working out a deal, hopefully to get a few more hats sooner rather than later. And some of my buddies who are Dolphins fans, um, Falcons fans, we're working on it. So shout out to Greg and Jose who are looking to rep the No Shave Man Cave. Thank you for the ongoing support. Very cool. JTillie, he's got his hat, and it is a very clean. It's the camo pattern is called Arid. So if you're looking for what the white one is, and then mine is obviously aqua because it looks like water. Me being a Giants fan, I felt like this was the closest thing. And then JTillie repping his login, holler at you. So nice deal, man. So hey, welcome again to the No Shave Man Cave, and I am jacked. So we have a lot of really cool things going on right now, and it's all because of this mutual fun respect for professional wrestling that has, I don't want to call it an addiction. It is an obsession because I really enjoy it. And like, we sit and talk about belts and stuff, and it's something that we dig. And lately it's been a lot more fun, and not just because the product, but just the exchange that JTillie and I have been having. So we have been talking about expanding what we do here at the No Shave Man Cave. So I'm super jacked to we're starting the feeling out process, and we'll see where we're going to take the bourbon barbecue and body slams. So somebody who probably needed some bourbon, at the least some whiskey from his home country, was Drew McIntyre. Man, he has been absolutely feeling it, and I really like this new character. I feel like it's closer to him, even though he's like a super nice guy, like all the interviews that you see and everything. And if you go back and watch, what was it, WrestleMania 36, that not too many people ever go back and watch, and that was the one that Drew McIntyre won his first world title on. And he waved the cameras in, and this was unprecedented, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen because there's so many unknowns, and Drew McIntyre carried the company, and it was obvious he was a really, really good people champion, champion of the people, not the people's champ, obviously, but a champion of the people. And everybody really got behind him. He had two different title runs, and then he had his moment. And I'm doing air quotes for those who are listening. And he had his alleged WrestleMania moment when he was up on the ramp. So, oh, I don't know, with what was that, WrestleMania 37 there in Tampa, which Royal Rumble is going to be in Tampa. So pretty pumped to see that. And JTillie and I may take a roadie down to Tampa, or we may just save our pennies because we're looking to do the AEW show in January, the second week in January. And then we have WrestleMania, which is rapidly approaching. So anybody is going to be in the greater Philly tri-state area. And I can only imagine, it's going to be the who's who. So if you're a fan, there are some tickets available for WrestleMania, and then you have the SmackDown before WrestleMania, and then you have the Raw after WrestleMania. And then there's gonna be the NXT show, and then you're gonna have, I'm sure you're gonna have some indie stuff, the WrestleCon, type thing. So get your tickets now, because I tell you, the character work that's going on, both Monday night and Friday is, me personally, I think it's just absolutely next level, and I'm, totally pumped to see and hear, what's going to happen. So again, Drew McIntyre, he comes out, he's a heel, he's not part of the Judgment Day, but there's still this kind of struggle, but there's some funny stuff going on with the Judgment Day, and we'll get to that obviously. But so you get main event Jey Uso, who can legally now say yeet. So good for him. I think it's freaking funny, and I catch myself saying it even though I'm a 50-year-old dude. So I don't know if that's something I should be saying. And JTillie would just look at me like Roman Reigns would, and maybe like, no yeet. I'm like, all right, man. So you get to Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. Really good match. Commentary was killing it. And it was just overall, it was a fun match. And I don't know necessarily what I expected. I thought it was going to I thought it was going to have a weird ending. And, McIntyre comes out, he wins clean. The, he continues on with a pretty decent role. Jey now is back-to-back weekends with a loss. Is this going to build towards something? And you see Jimmy over on Friday, so he's like, yeet, and then gets on the phone and hangs up the phone and is like, no yeet. So it's like, okay, so are we building towards something? Philly being the city of brotherly love, you definitely want to keep your eye on that. Drew McIntyre is building towards something. We haven't seen a bunch of Sheamus. Is this whole Intercontinental title thing gonna rear its ugly head again, or is Gunther gonna lose the title clean? Who knows? Then we get a squash match, which I think should be done a little bit more, especially with your superstars and champions that you're trying to build up, right? So Bronson Reed, you want to build him to be the monster. Braun Strowman, you would want him to be the monster among men. That's what you're calling him, right? And Rhea is just like, she's a once in a lifetime, once in a generation talent that has so much to offer the business that she is perfect to carry that world title into 2024. And I can only imagine what is going to happen at WrestleMania. And, her going over Becky Lynch at WrestleMania would, without a doubt, make the women's division, make that world title, and Rhea Ripley just gold, right? So, so again, that's my thoughts. And, one thought amongst many, I'm sure there's, many schools of thought when it comes to the women's title, any title really, man or woman, how you're going to build it up. You're, trying to lift that title up, kind of like what we're trying to do with Seth Rollins' title. And, we're trying to not make it seem like a second place trophy or the blue ribbon instead of instead of the trophy. So, he's been putting in work. He's been doing a lot of really good, showing up every week, which is the polar opposite of what's going on with Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns not showing up, is it making him more of an attraction or a distraction? Huh? See what's going on there. So I don't necessarily know how to feel about, how that whole thing is going. But so again, we get Rhea Ripley with a squash match against Maxine Dupree, and some of the stuff that occurred in the match seemed a little weird or less orchestrated as other events. So it's whatever, and they'll work through it. Maxine Dupree will become a better wrestler slash superstar because of it, right? So any chance some of these wrestlers, superstars, get to cross paths with other seasoned veterans, it's only going to make them better. And if they're not going to accept that constructive criticism or the work that they're doing in the ring, then so be it. And they'll be kind of left to their own um, devices, maybe. I don't know. So then we get the party with Carter and Chance. They come out and defeat Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. So this is an interesting tag team with Hartwell and Candice because it harkens back to NXT. But the start and stop of Candice LeRae, the start and stop of Indy Hartwell, she was on cloud nine, gets drafted while she's hurt, relinquishes the title, and now we get this version of her, and the character work and the build that she had going on down at NXT was awesome. So why can't we do that? We have many main event talent with over on the men's side. So this, I mean, there's absolutely no reason why we can't. However, we just don't, right? But I will say that the WWE is booking women better than the men. Not to say that it's like the best. Well, I guess it is the best out of the two, but it definitely should be more. And we had a couple of women's pay-per-views with Mickey James over at NWA, and then we had the women's revolution, and a couple of the tournaments that they did, the Mae Young Classic and such, it's just been so awesome. And think about some of the superstars and wrestlers that have been made from that. So I say that's a sustain. We keep doing that. Something else we need to keep doing is this R-Truth piece with the Judgment Day. Oh my God, R-Truth, him being back is freaking gold. And kudos to him for sacrificing himself for the fans and taking a beat down from Judgment Day. And dude, like this is so funny. So we'll see how this goes, and I think they can only continue to build, and it just makes it funnier and funnier and funnier. Yeah, so we got to keep doing that. Now, something else that we keep doing is we keep the Intercontinental title on Gunther, which I think is very strong. So you have the Intercontinental title. Gunther's been carrying this baby for over a year. And then you have the World Championship that Seth is carrying, and he's not defending it every week, but he's present. He's everywhere. He defended it last week. So it was good to see. And he was on, he's always on, and, them talking about how his back is banged up and stuff. I really think that's building to the credibility of the champion. And when he does relinquish the title, there's going to be some sort of an out that we can build on. Now, I'm not saying he's going to drop the title anytime soon, but all things look like we're building toward a main event at WrestleMania with Seth freaking Rollins and CM Punk. And I don't know, you put the title on CM Punk at WrestleMania, but definitely having him main event WrestleMania, which is something that he's wanted to do. And maybe that was a condition of his return to the WWE, which, right, wrong, or indifferent, he never had that WrestleMania moment that he arguably deserved. Now, me, like I've talked about before, love him, hate him, leave him, take him, whatever. If he wouldn't have come back to professional wrestling, I wouldn't have missed, I wouldn't have lost a minute of sleep. But with him coming on, and this current character of him is much different, and I'm here for it. Hey, I'm here for it. I'm not mad at it. I think it's very interesting. And when he even credited, I don't think he actually said it specifically, but I know there's been some critics who have been talking about how they don't like this flowery version of CM Punk. And, is he a changed man? I don't know. We're what, 2 weeks into his current WWE run, and he hasn't done anything to make me question his loyalty and why he's there and all that. And if he were to look at him coming back to the WWE, like Edge is looking at him going to AEW, and just the hundreds of matches now that he could have that he would have never been able to have if he stayed at the WWE, because it's an exclusive contract, even though they're a contracted employee, and you would think they're contracted and they'd have a little bit of leeway, but such is life when you work at and for the WWE. And so we have the Intercontinental Champion along with Imperium going against DIY and The Miz. Now this is kind of weird, odd, interesting, just because of the back and forth, and this almost felt like 50-50 booking, because you recently had Gunther defeat The Miz. And then you put them in a 6-man tag, and you have The Miz go over. Now, yeah, I mean, that's something. And I don't, that's not, what's the term? That's not nothing. So, so The Miz, after all of that, they get the W, and The Miz comes back and says, I want a rematch. So the New Year's Raw is going to be bonkers. It's really going to be something. And then you have NXT's New Year's Evil, which I think is going to be equally awesome. Just the talent and the level that everybody's performing at. And of course, you're going to have Friday Night SmackDown have to show up and show out. So I'm really looking forward to the matches that they're going to put on. So the segments that we had, Judgment Day was classic. Anytime I get to see Cody, I'm in. The intro to the start of the show I thought was really good. A little bit long, but it really summed up the last couple of weeks and what had been going on. So it kind of told the story, and more so the story about Sami Zayn. So Sammy, he'll be gone for a little while. He has been written off of TV, which I think is fine, because there's so much talent over on Monday Night Raw right now, and now CM Punk announcing that he is going to sign with Monday Night Raw, which you kind of saw coming. He wasn't going to sign with NXT. It wouldn't have made sense for him to sign on Friday when Randy just signed over there, and you're not going to want to take any kind of steam away from Randy. So made sense. Monday Night Raw just got CM Punk, and things got a lot more interesting. So the things that you can do with CM Punk on Monday you know, a cross between that good heater with Seth, the opportunity to make and put over some superstars on the way to WrestleMania, I think will be really, really good. And just like, you know, you hear Mark Henry and Bully Ray over on Busted Open, you hear them talking about the learning tree. And, you know, you hear about the boys and on the road and the locker room and, you know, just the wealth of knowledge that CM Punk could bring. And you take it like a couple different perspectives, right? So, you know, you've got Lexus over on NXT, Brian Pillman Jr. You have him who came from AEW, is down at NXT, cutting his teeth, getting some reps in, getting ready to move up to the main roster. So so now you have this, right? So you've got a guy who's been on a main roster on the competitor, traveled the country, been there, arguably done that, probably got a couple t-shirts along the way. He's down at NXT, and that's the future of the business, right? So now he's over. I don't know that he would necessarily be the learning tree because you have the Baron Corbins and the like over there at NXT. But he would be able to provide a different perspective to some of the new superstars that are coming up. Then you have those tweeners, those guys that are coming up to the end of their contract, and they're like, man, hey, what'd you think of AEW? And, you know, some people can take it with a grain of salt, kind of like what Seth was saying, is CM Punk took every opportunity to take a shot at the WWE over the last decade. And if he didn't take a shot, it was the fact that he didn't say anything, you know, which said a lot, which spoke volumes. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt maybe, but CM Punk has been with every organization, you know, Ring of Honor. He did some stuff overseas. You know, it would have been awesome to see him over in New Japan. Some of the matches that he could have had over in New Japan, I think would have been phenomenal, just like name recognition alone, right? And now here he is over at Monday Night Raw. So you have some superstars who have been born and raised in WWE. Obviously, you take the Drew McIntyres out, who, you know, they cut their teeth and did all kinds of stuff overseas. They moved to the States to make a name for themselves. It didn't work out initially for him with the WWE. He took the long way back. Even spent time in Impact, which I freaking love. Did some Evolve stuff, did all kinds of stuff, held titles all over the place. And then to see him back is awesome. Now, what am I getting at? I'm getting at what CM Punk can offer, not just the business, but what he can offer to the talent in the WWE as either a cautionary tale. Okay, careful what you wish for. Oh, I don't want WWE. I don't want scripted promos, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hey, I'm just telling you, I went off script and was sitting there eating pickles at a pay-per-view scrum, media scrum to, you know, 9 months, a year later, whatever, goes through the whole thing again, some backstage incident, to now he's back on WWE programming. So, you know, it's quite the whirlwind. You know, he goes over to AEW, multi-time world champion. Will that ever be talked about? Will that be written out of the AEW record books? I don't know. I mean, it's a cool story for TK to tell, and we'll leave that up to him. So speaking of a freaking cool story to tell, my guy Cody Rhodes is getting ever closer to finishing his story, and the parallels between Shinsuke Nakamura and Cody Rhodes are interesting, only because of the way they tell it, right? Because they're telling you what they want you to know and they're programming you to think a certain way. And we turn around and Cody Rhodes is on this quest to beat Roman Reigns and become the Universal Undisputed Heavyweight Champion. He declares for the Royal Rumble. He was the first to declare for the Royal Rumble. And since then, now we have CM Punk. I think Shinsuke also declared for the Royal Rumble. So now you've got three freaking main event people, that can go, right? So you've got the what's the like the energy behind creating AEW and that historic all-in pay-per-view where Cody went against Nick Aldis. Wow, are you serious? And then you have Shinsuke Nakamura, who main evented the Tokyo Dome. It's just freaking awesome. So you have all these awesome talents, and then of course CM Punk, a absolute lightning rod when it comes to professional wrestling. He's competed at WrestleMania. He competed there at Wembley Stadium, the largest ticketed event of professional wrestling. He was there, and now he's going to go to WrestleMania 40 and compete, and it's probably going to break every record on the planet. So kudos to him and the marketing and the machine behind it. Hey, if you want to drop a vote and tell me yes or no, and I'll put a poll on Twitter here in a little bit. Do you or don't you want to see AJ come skipping down and begin competing again in the WWE? I'll wait. The answer better be yes. So I'm super excited to see what's going to happen with this, as this, the road to the Royal Rumble, the road to WrestleMania is, plugging and chugging along. This story with Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke. Shinsuke takes the L by disqualification when he missed him. Woo, man, I like just the whole thought of getting spit in the face is one thing. And then, Cody talked about how terrible it was to get misted. So I'll take his word for it. I'm not down with the mist. And hey, hopefully everybody's down with professional wrestling who's really enjoying the product right now. A lot of really good stuff going on. Impact is getting ready to get packaged as TNA. I can't wait to see what the world title is going to look like. I've made some space in the back here. That'll be the next title I'm buying. But what's going on in the WWE, freaking fantastic. I love the storytelling and the backstage stuff that's going on. And they're still talking about the superstars that are out with injuries. So we got to definitely maintain that. So congratulations to Cody to getting the win via disqualification. It didn't really help or hurt anyone. It just continued to build a story, which will eventually end with his story, and hopefully him coming out the world champion. Does he win or doesn't he win at WrestleMania? Keep your fingers crossed with me in hopes that answer is yes sir, yes sir. So can't say enough how proud I am of the following, the support, and just the camaraderie here at the No Shave Man Cave. Thank you so much to JTillie and all the hard work he's been doing behind the scenes. The help we've been getting from Tony Allen. Good stuff, man. You definitely very valued member, and hope everybody, you get it. So everybody who's doing everything for us, and for you following us, hitting us with the downloads in the comments, please keep it up and let us know what we can do better, and what kind of other info you want to be hearing about. We're going to be wrapping up the year with our best matches. We're probably going to drop a Rushmore and get ready for the new year and New Year's Evil, and Impact is getting ready to have a new one too. So, but great show for Monday Night Raw. Congratulations to all of the winners and the fans, especially, because this was a really fun show. So keep checking us out here at the No Shave Man Cave. Like I've been saying, I'm ElliJare. Keep checking us out on all the socials, everywhere that you can get podcasts. We're there. Just look up in the Google search, No Shave Man Cave, and we will be there. So until next time, friends, fam, keep doing what you do. Thank you so much for the support. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.